Hello, it's Jack, and welcome back to another episode, another sunny day here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Another beautiful day, no storms on the horizon, no rain clouds, gorgeous day. Well, today we're going to go through something which I think maybe a lot of people are not quite sure what it's all about and how to get them and how they work, and that is modded vehicles, modded cars. Yep. I'd like to showcase a few of these mods that you can get from Steam, if you have a Steam account, obviously. And these are for the PC. I don't know if they're available for any other platform, but they are for the PC, that's for sure. So without further ado, let's go and find out how we get the mods into our own game, shall we? So give me a sec. So here we are in Steam. This is my Steam account. I've come to the Car Mechanic homepage basically. You can just search for it up here in Car Mechanic 2021. And we click on the community hub here. And then we go to the workshop up here. And then there's lots of different things in the workshop, but I'm showcasing right now the modded vehicles and the cars, okay? So if we click on the cars here, category cars, we get a whole list here of all different vehicles that have been modded, okay? And I think there's about 2 pages, and you can see there's some brilliant cars here, absolutely brilliant. And in order to make that car and all of its parts and everything else available in your own game, you need to subscribe to that vehicle, and hence subscribing to the developer, the car modder, I don't know what you want to call them, but these very talented individuals that use, 3D modeling software, some code, I guess, and they're just very, very skilled at what they do, and we have to thank them for that. To say, guys, keep up the good work and all that stuff. Really, this is the heart of the community, providing these mods for us. So if you want to get any one of these cars in your own game, you need to subscribe, like I said. And here you can see if there's a tick here, it says you are subscribed to this item. Okay. If I'm not subscribed, it will put a little plus button up here and say, you can subscribe to it. But a bit more information just before we go into that. If you click on obviously the thumbnail, it will take you into the full details about that car. It'll give you some good images of what that car's all about, what it looks like, maybe even the different variations, because a lot of the modders, I'll call them modders, I hope that's not a derogatory term, they do different versions, and you can find all these different versions in various places. So they give you basically a description of what the car is. Also where it will spawn. For example, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is Dead Bob 777 that's done this. So there's 6 different variations that he's doing for this particular 2013 Ford F-150. I know it was actually requested a lot in 2018. And this is where it will spawn. So the different versions will spawn pretty much in junkyards and the salon. Yeah, none in the barns here right now. Additional information, yeah, I mean, you can read this and it'll give you all the information that's available from the guy that developed it. If you want to support these guys, and again, you don't have to, it's completely free, and I'm not promoting any individual per se. All I'm saying is that if you do want to give a donation, because these are free, it's not like a DLC, then subscribe as much as you want to these dev guys, and give them a bit of a thank you slap on the back. Or if you're posting their stuff on social media, if you're doing a video on them, or on YouTube or Facebook in a group or on Reddit, give the guys a shout out, yeah, because they put a lot of work in. So I think it's only fair. Anyway, back to showcasing what we've got here. A lot of these I've already subscribed to, as you can see. And it's as simple as literally either clicking on the button here to say, up here, sorry, for example, I've not got, to subscribe to it, okay? Or you can go into the thumbnail and then you can click subscribe here. Okay, and it's not doing anything bad at all. I mean, I'll show you. I want to subscribe to this Mustang here. I just subscribed to it, and now I've been subscribed. And it says here some games will require you to relaunch them before the item will be downloaded, and that's absolutely fine. So you may have to close your game down, open it back up again, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, or whatever you want to call him. Anyway, it's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Now let's get back to the game and I'll show you a little bit more. So here we are back in the garage with all modded vehicles today. I won't be, well, there's actually a DLC, but I just want to do a quick comparison. That's why I've got the Jaguar sitting outside. This is a BORA, a Jetta or whatever you want to call it. It's called the Jetta GLI here, but it's also called the Volkswagen BORA up here, and it identifies it as a car mod. Okay, straight off the bat. Now, one thing to notice about car mods, here it also tells you where it can be found. They often allow you to put in different types of engines, many different types of engines, which is also a good thing. And they can change around with the factory horsepower, so you get a good variation depending on which vehicle you actually want to play around with in terms of a mod. Now, when it comes to a modded vehicle, there are some things that you should know about. Uh, they're not all perfect, and I'm not having a go at the developers, the modders, or whatever at all. But don't be, surprised that if you when you do get a modded vehicle, that sometimes the parts don't always match up 100%. And it's not a bug; it's just, I guess it was difficult to do, or they just didn't have the time, or whatever. I don't know. But I'll give you a good example. So here, let's just add a part. There's no parts here to add, as you can see, but there's a bit missing here. You see, from this exhaust downpipe here to the mid muffler, there's no actual, there's no exhaust section. And again, you will find that with quite a few of the mods where some things, oops, sorry, some things just maybe just don't match up quite the way they should. Okay, but I mean, it's nothing to shout about. It's nothing to bitch about. I'm just saying, just be aware that is sometimes what happens with these modded vehicles. And most modded vehicles are standard as you would find in a normal, authentic, official, car mechanic 2021 car. If it's a DLC even, or if it's a one that came packaged with the game when you bought it. But let's just take a quick look at some of the variations you can get depending on which vehicle you actually find in wherever it may be, junkyard or wherever. You see these two Land Rovers, they're both modded vehicles, and I just highlight real quick another slight point when we talk about the, some things don't always line up. You can see here, can you see there? If I can zoom in a little bit more. I think I've mentioned this when I did the Farmer Palmer video. Which is also a modded vehicle, which I can link in the description. You can see here that this front shock absorber doesn't quite match up. You see there's a distance between the spring here and the cap. Again, you can see it probably a little bit more clearly over here. Again, no big deal. It's just a small aesthetic issue. So, don't worry too much about it. And don't get confused and thinking it's broken. As long as it all goes back together and you get it on the track, I mean, all's good, yeah? And sometimes you might find that there's certain things that are missing. Maybe there's not an ECU, maybe there's not a fuse box. I'm not sure what the rules are for creating these mods at all. It's all witchcraft to me, to be fair. I just want to see the mods. They look fantastic. But again, let's just showcase these two Land Rovers. They look identical. They're not quite. This one has windows in the back. This one does not. But you will notice that when I take a window off, for example this back window here, it actually covers this top window, mid window, and the back window here. Now you can't see that window because this is a specific version of the Land Rover with no side windows in, which again makes it a little bit more exciting depending on which one you find in the scrapyard or wherever you find it. And here you'll see it's very bare inside. Farm vehicle, yeah, a bit like Farmer Palmer's. Nothing in here really. A couple of points here for mounting, I guess. I'm not quite sure. But this one does have a window in, okay? It seems identical. This one, however, has seats inside. So, again, you can't take these seats out, unfortunately. But that's just some of the, small drawbacks, I guess, with the mods. But anyway, you can see the difference in these two identical vehicles in terms of, they are the same. It's a Defender, what is it, 1990? I don't remember. 97, is it? Yes. So they're both the same. They're just different versions, which is wonderful. And you saw that detailing in here, and that's what a lot of mods go in for. They go in for this wonderful detailing. Now let me just draw your attention to the Jaguar DLC, which is an official, car mechanic red dot, car. They're starting to get a little bit clever as well with their own DLCs. You see here, a little bit of detail in here. We've got this, whatever it is here, and a spare tyre under some leather covering or whatever. Again, I showcased this in the DLC when I did this Jaguar DLC. So, they're getting, maybe they're catching on. That these modders, these devs are doing a really good job. Maybe we can learn something from them. The other thing to be aware of is that there's lots of different parts for these vehicles, okay? So let's just say for example, we want to do something with this. We want to put a headlight in there. Whatever we want to do. Let's say we want to put in this right headlight. Now, just before we go into that, if we go into the store, you can ignore all this over here. There's no body work and no body tuning, you know, for these modded vehicles. All the car parts are in here, as in the engine parts, and tune-up parts are in here. Tyres are the same, interiors generally the same. In fact, they are the same, sorry. And then we come here to fresh import goods. And once you've subscribed to that modder, that developer, you will get all this lovely stuff in here. Every single car that you have subscribed to. So here we have the Land Rover Defender. And here are all the wonderful things you can stick onto that car. Now, don't be put off by sometimes they don't always have a graphic, okay? It's just the way it is. I'll show you that shortly on a different car. But the side skirt here, part 1, part 1B, part 1C, part 1D, part 1E, part 1F. And then part 2, which will be generally, I think that'll be maybe the other side of it. Anyway, what I'm showing you here is that the side skirts down here, you can see car part 1, which corresponds to car part 1 here. You can put any number one of these onto your car to make it look a bit snazzy, a bit more flash. You can do that with a lot of the parts on these vehicles. One thing you should note is that some of them have a special ability, if you like. See here we have something what's called the rear clamshell. That particular rear clamshell is, if we just go to the clamshell down here, wherever the clamshell may be. See, so these are all marked as a clamshell here. Sunroof, tinted sunroof, or it still says sunroof, but it does put a sunroof in, but it also puts this lovely kind of outside roll cage for luggage and stuff. So you've got all these different variations that you can put into that part location for the clamshell, which is great. One other thing you should look out for is that, let's say I wanted to put in this light here. So we're just going to say, okay, let's add this light to the shopping list, as you can just with any other part. We then go into the store and we look for that headlight. It gives you this headlight. You think, oh yeah, we'll get that. That's fine. Let's get that and let's shove it on that car. It looks fantastic. But just be aware, because that was the part that came off, if you go in and just clear the filter, we can actually see that there's so many better headlights. Yeah, all different prices, and one with the grill here, which I use on the Farmer Palmer's car. So you've got all these different variations that you can put in, and you can mess around and, you know, figure out what it looks best and, you know, all that good stuff. And, you know, so don't just go with, you know, the basic headlights when you've got all these different wonderful variations that you can put onto these vehicles. Okay, so that's highlighted some of the differences between the modded cars, if you like. Well, let's just get back to normal mode. And the DLCs. Interiors are also modelled on the real deal. I mean, for me, this is what really adds to these modded packs. They're absolutely fantastic. I mean, the level of detail they're putting into showing you the, you know, the four-wheel drive here and everything else, and oh yeah, absolutely great. Anyway, a couple of other small points about modded vehicles. Where are we? Hello, we're back here. So we've talked about how some of the parts don't line up. We've talked about where to get the items to put on the body and all the rest of it, how it works out, and how you put those on. Here you can see there's some modifications which you can't change, like the horns, for example. I think this might be the bonnet release catch. There's some wiring over the back here, which I'm not quite sure what all that's about. But again, it's items they're putting on, the developers are putting on to make the car look more authentic. Okay, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It really does. So with that said, there's a couple of other, you know, things that you might not be aware of. Oh look, another little bit of detailing in this wonderful Roadrunner. If we just get this up on the ramp slightly, and I'll give you another idea. And this is just to give you the basic information that if you want to start going down the modded route for these modded vehicles, what you can expect. So here we can see we've got the normal exhaust system, okay? And if I go into, you know, sorry, let's just get out of that. If I just go into the normal part mode, I can remove these exhausts and, you know, like you would do normally on any other car. You can see that the mid muffler and the rear muffler are very close together, and they don't quite reach the back end of the car, which you think, well, that looks a bit strange, that's going to look a bit crappy. Well, this particular car, you have to actually go into the part here, and there's two additional parts here, part 1 and part 2. So these are not actually engine parts, they are actually body parts that you can buy from the store and you can put on. I mean, the real exhausts are still down the back. but the aesthetics of it, I mean, look how fantastic that looks now. And you find that with a lot of modded cars that sometimes you have to, put on a little bit of a body part to make it look as if it's the real engine part or the car part itself. I think that's really, really clever. Now, I'm just going to go and grab another vehicle real quick, okay? And then we're going to go get back into the garage again. So just give me a sec. So just before we bring the other car in, I want to show you the other modded vehicle, that lovely yellow thing in front of me, which I'll go through in a minute. I'm just actually splicing this bit of video in because I actually forgot to mention something before I close the video down. Just another point to make. If you subscribe to, let's say, 20 vehicles, modded vehicles, so you're adding 20 more vehicles into your own game, think about it, you're going to have less of a chance of finding let's say one of your DLC cars, let's say the Jaguar XJS, because there's many more cars for you to find, and somewhere in the config files there is some sort of ratio of the chance of you finding a specific vehicle. So if you've got 72 vehicles in the game already, plus 4 vehicles from the DLC Jaguar pack, which would give you 76, and you add another 20 on top of that as modded cars, you might find it more difficult to find some of the specific cars that you do want. But it works the other way around too. You might not be able to find all the modded vehicles that you want. So if you're having difficulty finding, specific cars, then maybe just add a couple of mod packs to begin with to see how that works for you. And you can always unsubscribe from them. Bear in mind you must have got rid of all of the cars from your garage or sold them all, otherwise they're going to disappear. Okay? As I mentioned before in the video. It's just some food for thought. By adding all these different cars in, of course, you're going to alter the mechanics of the game. It's as simple as that. Anyway, okay, let's get back to the rest of it. Okay, back in the room. Can you believe this? It's a mod. It's a Ferrari 458 from 2013. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, one thing I want to show here is, again, let's just get up on the ramp real quick. Let's see how it looks underneath. See if there's anything special about this vehicle. As you can see, this is unusual, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Completely all blacked out with steel. I don't even know if this has an exhaust on it, to be fair. Oh, it's a rear engine car, that's also why. But anyway, you can see again the detail they put into this. I mean, this is one of my favourites, it really is. But there's one small thing I wanted to show you. A lot of these modded cars have what we call an engine cover. So, I mean, I just can't get over them, they're fantastic. So, when we open up, why isn't it opening up the boot, the bonnet, the trunk? Here we go. I mean, you might think, my goodness me, where does that even come from? Well, it's very simple. It's just an engine cover, okay? So if we take it off, there's the real engine under there. As you can see, again, a bit strange, these air filters, but no air filter covers or tops or bases, whatever you want to call them. So a little strange sometimes. If we go to the inventory, we can see, let's just do all. Here we go, this is the engine cover. Paintable apparently as well, Ferrari 45B engine cover. So that is a part that you would get from the Ferrari store up here. Don't forget we're going into the fresh import goods. It now knows I've got the Ferrari, and in here somewhere there will be an engine cover. It would be under E, I would have thought, to be engine cover. Let's just do a quick search if we can find that. E-N-G. Here we go. It doesn't show it too much on here, but I mean, you saw what it was. It's this engine cover that I've just taken off. So put it back on. Okay, there goes the engine cover. Now, in 2018, I wasn't too keen on these. I thought, well, yeah, it's not really an engine, but it actually adds to the aesthetics of the car in a big way. Now, what we're going to just do now is close the boot if we can, please, or the trunk. Thank you. Let's go and take a quick look back at that Roadrunner, which I plonked outside. Let's have a quick sit inside, shall we? There's so much detail on this. Even the wooden panelling, I mean, they're just absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. And again, I'm not sure what this car will take. Let's just have a quick look, shall we? Again, don't get me wrong, they're also good value for money. I paid 5,766 for this. I'm in profit already of 10,000. This will actually take the 6P or the mag engine. And what's it coming in at in terms of brake horsepower? 361. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. Okay, there's a couple more items I want to show you. Okay, so just bear with me. I just need to bring two more cars back from the parking lot, and we'll just bring those in. But what I did want to do is I want to show you inside the Ferrari, but we'll do that in a couple of minutes. So just bear with me. Okay, and if magically they appeared, if by magic, and they did, BMWs, two identical M3s E30s. Now, brilliant, brilliant cars. I want to showcase some differences, even though they're the same car. Okay, wonderful vehicle, isn't it? 206,000 kilometers on it. It's a car mod, as you can see up here. It will take only one engine, the AQC RWD. Okay, it's worth a pretty penny, I believe. It's worth 55 grand. I bought it for no money in the. I don't remember. I think I bought it from the junkyard. I did. Okay, takes one engine and it delivers 214 horsepower. Now we take this one, same car. You can see here, look, as I mentioned before, the struts are not quite showing on this particular car. The same over here. Yeah, the actual shock absorber struts are not coming through. But if you can live with that, then you're going to love mods. Let's take a look at this one. 403 V8. So it's pretty much the same car, but this version has a bigger engine installed. It's specific. It's got this great engine, and also it's worth a fortune. I really overspent on this. I mean, I paid 117. I think I got it from an auction. So just be aware, they're not always that cheap. I'm in minus 17. I've yet to figure out what to do with this beast because it is a beast. And if you look at the actual stats on it, to be fair, I mean it's in pretty good condition. 61, 59, 59, 56, and I've got to spend 17, 18 grand or whatever just to get that money back. Oh yeah, no, maybe not the best decision in the world. But anyway, again, let's just. Oops, where's he going? Not much in the trunk, but again, I've showcased a couple of issues that you might find when you have these modded cars. Another small one here. And again, don't think you're doing anything wrong. It's just the way these mods are built. There's no downpipes up here. Can you see that? There's no downpipes on the exhaust. Still runs just fine. I mean, it's not like doesn't say any parts are missing or anything when you take it out on the track. I mean, everything works out just hunky dory with it. So yeah, a little strange, but that's the way it is. Now, a word of caution before you start installing mods, and I'll just pause here just for a second. I'll just stay still. If you subscribe to a mod and you have modded vehicles in your garage and you're working on them, you spend a lot of money on them. If you unsubscribe to that mod, when you load the game in, it will tell you that you're missing the mod packs. And if you continue, you will lose all of the parts and the vehicles from your garage because it doesn't have the necessary files anymore downloaded. And it does sometimes happen that there's a glitch and it does tell you. The easiest way to get around it is to not continue to load the game because it does give you a warning. You cancel out the game, close it down, go back into Steam, resubscribe. Even if it still looks like you subscribed, unsubscribe, resubscribe, start the game again, and you should be good. Do not continue to open the game or play the game if it warns you the mods are missing because you will lose your vehicles. And I don't believe you get reimbursed for them being lost. I've got caught with that a couple of times in 2018, but luckily, well, hasn't happened so far in 2021. Okay, now I think the last thing I'd like to show, literally, is when you get a car, it often comes with, oh, I want to have a look in the Ferrari, didn't I? Let's just have a quick look in this Ferrari. I don't think we did that earlier. Nice. Oh, again, can you see these? The wishbones, not wishbones, the suspension things down here, the silver bits down by the footwell. Again, another aesthetic issue, but nothing major. Okay, when you do get a car, for example, this Roadrunner, you often get different liveries or paint jobs that you can put onto that car, and it comes with the pack. Okay. But just before we look at this car and its liveries, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're back on Steam again. This time I'm going to select livery down here. And here you can pick up the liveries, as in the paint liveries you can apply in the paint shop, depending if you've got the right level of the paint shop to apply liveries, mate. Don't forget that you can pick any one of these. This is where people get the Scooby-Doo van from that you may have seen on YouTube, or even the livery for the E30 I was just showing you. Yeah, and there's pages and pages of these things. Again, same procedure as last year. You just literally subscribe to it, and then you can add that livery inside the paint booth to that particular car. Okay, it's a great way to do it. I mean, some of these are absolutely astonishing, the amount of work these guys put into it. Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, I want to show you something in terms of when I say the livery can sometimes come with the mod itself, the modded car itself. So let's just take a quick look at that, shall we? Okay, so we're back outside. I've just put some body parts onto this Plymouth Roadrunner modded vehicle. Uh, just to basically show you, put it in the paint shop and show you some of the liveries that you can actually get on the modded vehicle. Not the liveries that I subscribe to. When you get the mod and subscribe to that particular car mod, you often get a livery already kind of installed, if you like, with the whole mod package. So let me show you what there is in the paint shop. So here we are in the paint shop. You'll need this sliding tool up here to be able to add the livery, which is over here. So the first livery, I've started at the top end. I think there's about 40 liveries. Some are very, very subtle. But look at this here. See that little Roadrunner? Can you see that in the light? Oh, yes, indeed. And I believe there's one on the tailgate as well. Well, yeah, that's quite impressive. But let's just go down a little bit, shall we? So this is the livery number 38. A little bit of a difference, you see. Not too much, but a little bit of difference. And then we go to 37. Again, it might be small, ever so small details that are changing, but wait until we just get down a little bit lower. So let's just go past 35. Let's get to 34. Let's get to 33. Oh my word. I'm stunned. Absolutely stunned by this. I think I showcased this when I did the Plymouth on a live stream, I think it was. It just gets better. I mean, really fantastic. So again, something you can certainly look forward to when you start to look at these modded vehicles. Well, I've covered quite a lot in this video. It might be a little bit lengthy. You can skip to the parts that you think are most interesting to you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put time slots in because it's kind of all over the place, to be fair. I really hope that's given you an idea of how simple the mods are to subscribe to, how to get them into your game, and how much fun you can have with them. As ever, thank you so much for stopping by. Support the modders. Thank you so much for listening. Drop me a sub if you like this sort of content. I'll be doing lots more in the future. Yeah, and thanks for everything. And Jack's out.